I'm Joanne Gajewski. You might know me from my podcast, Joyful Empowerment, or as one of stars behind and now in front of the scenes, Minions, for the festival. And I have with me tonight someone who really needs no introduction at all, but Christian Day.
Just
Tell us a
some
little bit
filters.
about yourself.
I need filters. Well, that's the first time I've ever heard how to pronounce your name. I always thought it was Gajewski or something. Anyway, my name is Christian Day. I'm a warlock living in both New Orleans, Louisiana, and Salem, Massachusetts. My husband and I are basically the supremes of this coven. And we own Hex and Omen, which are shops in Salem, Massachusetts, and also Hex and Omen in New Orleans. And we do the Spirits and Spells walking tour in New Orleans. We have the Witches Ball in Salem, and as part of the Festival of the Dead, which is a whole month of events. We do Hex Fest in August in New Orleans, which is a weekend of witchery in New Orleans. And we have WitchCon Online.
My absolute favorite.
Presenters from around the globe, including Romanian witches, which I'm super excited about. And she's been liking all my things, like this.
Oh,
And the more like bitchy something I write, the more she likes it. I absolutely love it. I mean, I don't know much about them. I've experienced these Romanian witches like back in the early 2011, I think it was, but really fascinating people. Just we've got so many different amazing presenters for that. And so, of course, naturally, because Star Ravenhawk is often a participant and or presenter in our events, I try whenever I can to get to Witches Fest. And
I was going to say, what's your history with Witches Fest? I know it's a long one.
Well, no, I've done one online when it was when everything was virtual during the pandemic. I've done one online, and then I did one in person. And I didn't really. Yeah, here's the thing: I don't tend to do festivals unless they're somewhere I want to go or they're people I really love. And in this case, it's both. I adore Star and I love New York City, and
Wow.
I can because there's not a lot. I can't buy these kind of clothes at Walmart. So
Oh,
sometimes
I
you got
feel
to
your pain. I'm in northern New Hampshire.
so I got to go to New York or London or whatever to go shopping. And yeah, so I'm very excited. She's always had a standing invitation for us at Witches Fest, and if I'm going to do something like that, I wanted to do it in person. I really wanted to be part of the energy of New York. There's a vibrant, magical community there, and it's really evolved. If there was a point where I think the energy had kind of died there for a while.
Yeah. You didn't
And,
hear much about New York for a while. And
and
I think
now,
Witches Fest
yeah,
helped kind of revive that.
absolutely. Star has really brought the magic back to Manhattan, and that should be a thing, the magic of Manhattan.
Ooh.
She has absolutely done that in a wonderful way, and I'm so excited. I think Jim Sayers is coming, and maybe
I'm
Lauren.
coming.
I think it's Sean Wild. There's a bunch of people. Oh, Angela
Yep.
DeFazio,
We're
who's
driving down together.
she's a psychic medium at Omen, and I've known her since we both worked at the Stop and Shop supermarket in 1991.
Yeah, she told me.
So we go way, way back, and she's wonderful. Is she teaching?
Yes, she's doing 2 classes. I think
Oh,
she's doing an
fantastic!
online and a live.
Oh, so she is going to be in
And
person.
she's going to vend, I think.
She's great. She's great. So I'm just, for me, it's chance to see people that I haven't seen in a while, and I don't get out to these things. I remember Lori Cabot telling me, when I first started studying with her 30 forever million years ago, she said Sybil Leek said to her on her deathbed, "Don't ever go to these festivals. All they do is fight." And so she almost never goes. We did, we got her to WitchCon, which very rarely will do any of these things. And I rarely do either because of her warning to me. And, from what I hear, most of them are pretty abrasive, but not Hex Fest and not Witches Fest.
I was going to say, if anything,
WitchCon.
what you both have created in the world of magic is a place that shows how diverse the community is, and that we're people just like everybody else, because people have tunnel vision when it comes to witches, and that we help with the community and we work together. And I think that you both have broadened that field for people, and that's why I love actually both festivals.
Also, our rights as witches are always in danger.
Hmm.
We had a person on Tuesday that was on the ballot for mayor who was, was mayor like 30 years ago. And, was part of the whole don't talk about the witch, and when they did that 20 years ago, they thought if they stopped marketing the witch city that it would all go away. It didn't go away. We got a lot of violent crowds and gang wars and stabbings. And
Yeah.
when the mayor that just left to be lieutenant governor, Kim Driscoll, when she came in to the lieutenant governor's office, but that's after 17 years. She really, really brought tourism back. And so her chief of staff is now taking over as mayor, and the guy didn't win. But it's always, just Witches Fest and Hex Fest alone have been the target of
Yeah.
right-wing protesters. We had them at Hex Fest, and they were armed.
Oh my
We
God.
had a group of young adults from TFP Student Action Network, which is a very right-wing Catholic organization, that left these terrifying notes
Oh.
under the door of all the hotel rooms where people were sleeping. And when I spoke out about it in the newspaper, this community does get our share of crazies. And what makes it really challenging is we don't get the support. I saw a little support for Star when that stuff was happening with the protesters. I got a little as well, but there were also people that, oh, they must deserve it, or what are they doing, or why aren't they poking the bear? In my case, some people said I hired the protesters. I'm like, yeah, I hired a whole bunch of Catholics with
Oh, I
guns.
remember that. Yeah, that whole thing. That was crazy.
It
Did you have an
was
issue with the ball
strange.
too, or something, or the boat? You were supposed to go on a
They
boat.
tried to get us canceled from the Creole Queen, but originally the whole protest thing started uh, with the discrimination on the part of the Steamboat Natchez. So if you're ever in New Orleans, please don't go on the Steamboat Natchez. Take the extra walk to the Creole Queen. First of all, the food is 10 times better. But also, the Natchez in 2015, it was 2 weeks before the first Hex Fest, and Brian and I were traipsing through some goat field looking for Bryn Kelshi D, or however you say it, which is a stone circle and burial mound in Wales. And we got the call that they didn't want witches on the boat. And I'm like, you've had us booked for over a year. And then they made up this story. Oh, it's because you had drummers. And I'm like, you knew in the email that we had drummers. So they completely lied. And when I protested against them, that's when suddenly, the Catholic protesters came around. And, because
So if people want to work with you, how can they get a hold of you? Like,
well,
that's not known anywhere.
the easiest way to find everything I do is christianday.com, and also warlocksinc.com. But both of those sites basically link trees to everything else. I don't have a lot of time to maintain my personal site. I finally put it on a WordPress, but then I never really do anything with it. You get really busy.
Yeah.
The career of witchcraft never ends, and we not only have to focus on our business and our magical lives and our covens and our priesthood and our practice, we also, as public witches, have to focus on the perceptions of witches in the world, and how, what's going on in Florida right now could just turn on a dime. They started with drag queens and trans people and gays. How long before they come for the witches again?
Yeah.
Ever
Well,
time.
sadly, we're out of time because this is just a little taste for people. But thank you so much for coming on and talking with me. I love talking to you, as
You're
you know.
welcome. It's always good.
Big teacher for me. And I look forward to seeing you in New York.